I wanted to finalize my episode for on today with a couple of takeaways. When I was diagnosed with PTSD, how I was diagnosed was I kept having the recurring um, dreams about associated with my son's murder, and ironically, combinations of the numbers. He was murdered July 11th, 2005. So anytime I would see the combination of numbers 7 and 11, it would trigger off a memory in my. It would trigger off a memory for me, and also since I was at work when I found out about his passing, when I exited out the front door, um, there were several people that came to the job to try to console me, and when they found out about my son's passing. And so, after the passing and after I went back to work, it became very, very hard for me to go out the front door because when I would go out the front door, that is when I could tell you where every car was parked. It's been 19 years. So like today I can remember where a few of the vehicles were parked, but then when it was fresh and it had just occurred, I could tell you where every car was parked and what people said to me as they approached me. So when the kids would pick me up from work, I would have everybody pick me up in the rear of the building so that that memory wouldn't be triggered off for me. And since we're on a spiritual journey, you know, you can look to some of the other people in the Bible that you may not find those exact words, post traumatic stress disorder, but as my daughter Miss Rogers, as she had alluded to earlier on in the conversation, she had spoke about some of the um, symptoms of PTSD. Now, one thing that comes to mind is Saul when he kept on having these recurring dreams and nightmares and everything. Um, but Saul went about it the wrong way. He went about seeking a soothsayer, a witch, to try to answer the questions that he was having as to why he kept on having these dreams. But what I want to tell you today, as a woman of God, a spiritual person, it's like I know for a fact that God was with me every step of the way. Even when I didn't think he was there, he was there. He was there. He was helping me. He helped me to survive. Um he helped me to be able to sit here and do these episodes so that I could try to help somebody else. I know that uh God is able. He's well able to do exceedingly more than we can ask or think. So, what I would like for everyone to know that you suffer, it doesn't have to be um, it doesn't have to be a homicide. Uh, Repeated gunshots in the area. Uh, you hear about somebody being threatened, their life being threatened. It doesn't necessarily have to be the fact that a person actual demise came about regarding the threatening situation or the traumatic event. It could just be about hearing that something bad was going to happen. So as my daughter has stated earlier, I'm not a medical professional. She's a professional. And she even suggests that if you're having these uh, symptoms associated with PTSD, you should seek out medical professional help so that you could get a proper diagnosis and you could get the proper treatment. Because trust and believe. You know, black people, black and brown people in the community, we really need to start establishing the fact that I love God. I love God. But God would not have made it possible for man to be able to uh learn about the brain and the things associated with the brain if he did not want us to be have professional people to assist us in our time of need. The basically all I really want to do is advocate. I want to advocate for us to seek out help when we need it. Um, Dispel with the stigma associated with receiving help when you have a issue with the brain. Um, we don't have a problem with seeking out help if we have an issue with our heart, if someone has an issue with their stomach, if someone has an issue with their feet. We do not have a problem with seeking out help and the doctors and the medical professionals when it comes to different uh, various areas of our body, except for when it's dealing with the mind, because we want to believe that we are these super strong, powerful people who got it, you know. And I'm not saying that we don't have it, but sometimes you just need a little help. You just need somebody outside of your circle to talk to. You need somebody outside of your someone that is non-biased, because my being in church when my son had passed, people were saying things to me like, you know, you in church, you should be able to handle this. When everything else is said and done, that was my son. That was my son whom I loved dearly. And no amount of, I am a human. I am not a machine. So I I was able to uh receive that information. It took me 19 years to be able to sit here and be able to communicate what I've been through so that I can help somebody else. I don't want nobody to feel like, just because you believe in God that, you know, you're not gonna have a weak moment. We have those weak moments, and I'm a firm believer that um God would not have allowed man to be able to learn about the brain and to be able to figure out the different ailments of the brain if he didn't intend for us to have psychotherapists, psychologists, licensed professional therapists, um, to be able to write a DSM. He wouldn't allow that to happen if it wasn't for the fact that he wanted us people to get some help. So this is Letitia Robinson. I'm signing off. This is August the 12th, 2024. And as always, I want everyone to be blessed and know that God is able. He's well able to do exceedingly, abundantly more than we can ask or even think.